So yeah, like I was saying, like when you're doing the same things over and over, and continuously not seeing any results, and continue to do that, you're just stuck in the same loop. You know, you have to be. You can't, as human beings, like, you know, sometimes you have to be open to. You can't be too rigid all the time in your own ways and your own opinions and frame of mind. Sometimes you have to be open to people's advice, people's opinions, people's help. You know, and that's something that I think we all have to learn how to do as individuals. You know, sometimes sometimes it's pride, sometimes it might be ego, sometimes it might be the fact that you know within yourself you might, you know, you know better than whatever that person's advising you. But we, as you know, sometimes we've got to be open to other people's opinions and advice. You know, we're not always right. You know, as humans. You know, so
I think, I mean, life, you've got to not mind losing in life.
yeah,
Don't worry if you lose.
yeah,
You know, like if you come last in the race. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't think you should be upset by it.
yeah.
You know. And I think people do get upset by it a lot. You know, that they don't come first.
Yeah,
You know?
but they participated. So
Yeah.
that's what's most important, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, but like people,
they tried.
as you know, like people go up and they try to go on the X Factor.
Yeah.
Sing.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are pretty hopeless. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you can see it. You know.
But some of those
they're
trying, but also some of those people aren't always honest with themselves.
No.
If you see what I mean, you know within yourself if you've got talent or not.
Some people are tone deaf, aren't they?
I think so, especially if they're younger.
Right, and people tone deaf, they can't hear themselves sing. You know, they think they're good at singing, you know, but they're not.
Sound,
you know?
yeah.
And I say, you know, like some people, they've gone in a pub or something, and everyone said, "Come on, X Factor," and they do, and you know, they know they're going to be rubbish, you know, and they've been fooled to go up there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a bit, again, empathy. You know, again, you know. That's the kind of, like, I sometimes don't like watching that kind of show, you know, because you know, there's failures on it in a funny way, you know, and all this kind of stuff. There's winners, but there's also failures. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bit sad in the kind of way that you know, like some people go home and commit suicide. Do you know what I mean? Because they haven't won.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? Or they're in tears for many years, you know, or so on.
In tears for many years.
Yeah,
yeah, like that.
Right. It rhymes.
Yeah, like that.
It rhymes.
It's true though. It's true. Yeah. They're in tears for many years.
Yeah.
Got disappointed by their peers.
Yeah, you know, they've upset, you know, it's upset them, you know, because they sung whatever, you know, so badly, or they didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, they made a mistake or whatever, you know. It's a cruel world in a kind of way, isn't it? It's, you know, like, it's like when you go on the X Factor, there's a big stage there, everyone's watching.
Yeah.
And they want, you know, they want you to do good, but if you don't, they kind of laugh at you, you know, or...
Yeah.
It's kind of, and you know, there's a lot of feelings there, isn't there? When there's,
it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
That,
I can understand people liking it.
There's
a lot of cruelty involved.
What people don't like get with those things,
backstage.
but that's just another form of reality TV.
Yeah.
But in a form of entertainment, if you see what I mean, where they're actually bringing people on. But it is all the different mixed emotions, because sometimes you get the ones that come on and they've got all this backstory, all the sob story, and all the crowd are already feeling like emotionally attached to them because they've been told, you know, when I was 6, my cat got run over by it, you know, and all this type of shit, you know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying. Just being silly, but yeah, sometimes like you get all the sob story and the backstory, and it's kind of like, it's almost like they've intentionally already kind of knew ahead of time which one they were kind of going to pick, and which one was already, you know, had a shot, essentially, if you see what I mean, you know. So yeah, but you get the mixed emotions. You get the ones where, like you said, you might get someone that comes out that's really, really bad, and everyone laughs at them. You know, the judges can't believe it. The crowd's all cracking up and laughing and got their, you know, head in their hands, can't believe it, can't watch because it's that awful. You know, and the person that's singing can't, you know.
Yeah.
Can't accept it.
There's all sorts of emotions.
And then you get ones that come out that are really great and really fantastic and really wonderful, and then you get some that come out that are really like heartfelt and like pull on the emotion, like the heartstrings of people. Like that lady, bless her heart, I think she's passed away now, bless her heart, rest in peace to her. that, you know, Nightbird, was her name Nightbird or something?
I don't know.
But I remember I think she was on the X Factor or something like that, and she said she had cancer or something,
Okay.
and she's the one that sung that song. It's okay, it's okay, it's alright. You remember that song?
No, I can't remember that.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, she sung that song, and it became obviously, obviously there was lots of mixed emotions in that, if you see what I mean, because no one had expected her to come out and say, she had cancer and shit, and she was.
So you got the different judges, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? What's his name?
What, Carol?
No. Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah, you know, and he gets angry, doesn't he? You know, or
Yeah.
you know, oh, what are they doing on the show? You know, but the other person likes it and loves it. You know. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean, there's lots of different sort of views and different opinions about.
Yeah.
You know, he thinks it's crap, but they love it.
Yeah, some of the others like it. Yeah, and then there's like a bit of tension.
Yeah. It's not. He thought it was absolutely the worst thing he's ever seen in his life. And he really throws these insults out, doesn't he, as well, like really upsets these girls that have been really trying single,
it's true.
Practice lessons and all this, and he comes out, what a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Really biggest insults, it's sort of like he's got no empathy whatsoever.
Yeah. But I have found, I'm not a big fan of the show.
He is alright.
But I've watched a few episodes here and there, but I found it seems like we were talking about earlier, like as most people get older, it seems like he himself has mellowed and become more compassionate and more empathetic, because before he could be very he was very blunt and very to the point and very whatever he thought he would just say it.
Yeah.
But I think today he's learned, because of, like you said, because of certain upsets that have happened on the show and stuff like that, where people have been really heartbroken and really depressed and shit because of it. I think he's had to learn that he also has to deal with those people on a human level, and you can't just always be all the time, oh, you're rubbish, you're shit, you'll never make it in life. You can't just be like that. Sometimes you have to let people down gently, depending on the person.
Well, when he, at the beginning, I think he was a bit immature, and now he's more mature,
Yeah.
And there's maturity about him, and maturity is having compassion, being peaceful, being happy, you do learn these things as you get older, I think, well, not necessarily, like I said, there's some old people that are, might be collecting stamps all day, or, and just thinking about that, and looking at clocks, I don't know, do you know what I mean? There's just all sorts of people out there.
Yeah.
But there's intelligent young people out there.
Very much so.
There's I think there's all sorts of people out there. That's it. We are all different after all, each one of us,
Yeah.
Every pigeon that you look at is different as well, you wouldn't think it, but they are.
Yeah.
They're different. We're all different, every one of us. Don't matter if you're a spider or what, we're different.
That's it. All unique.
Yeah, we're all very unique.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing, really,
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely need more compassion and empathy in the world today, mate. People need to be more
mature.
Yeah, not only mature, but just more caring, more kind. Like, we need to start looking after each other, like going back to looking after each other like it used to be back in the day, like being more community based and more just like, just looking after each other, like looking out for each other, making sure everyone's, everyone in the community's looked after and taken care of, just looking after our communities and the people that live within them, and being able to help each other out with food or whatever the case may be, whatever one of your friends might be struggling with, be able to just, people come together and say, oh, let's help this person out, they're struggling this month, like, and that kind of thing, like, we need to
I think it's all the government's fault.
Really. It is, a lot of it.
I can't explain it, it's like we're living in some sort of zoo. Or prison or something, it's weird, right? Where I just find it, like say, we've said it in previous episodes that, like the electric's just gone up, it upsets people.
It does, yeah.
It don't matter who you are.
Yeah.
So if something's gone up, it upsets you.
Of course,
it don't matter whether you're rich or poor, really,
Yeah.
but it will affect you if you're poor, and you're more likely to sort of get angry, you know, because you're getting cold
Yeah.
in life. You know, you can't pay your electric, you can't cook, or you know, and it's just making life very miserable.
Difficult.
For some people.
Yeah.
Out there, you know. Whereas some people haven't got that. You know, they've got their house paid for. You know, and they don't have to think about that. Do you know what I mean? Or worry about the outside world because they've got their nest.
Yeah.
If you sort of mean, you know, and this is kind of where we're living in. You know, it's kind of like the people that are living comfortably, they don't worry in a funny way. You know, because they're comfortable, and it's just the way the world is. It's evolved like this.
Yeah.
It's evolved like this. You know.
Yeah.
I kind of don't blame anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, it's just slowly evolved like this. You know. It's like the police they evolved like they did.
Of course,
slowly in time.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything slowly evolved like it has.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how it did, but it did. You know.
Right.
That's it. You know.
Right.
It's you know.
As I said, the original police. I think policing originally came from slavery times.
I think they started using them in France apparently.
Yeah.
You know, like a real police.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of that's working for, for money.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they get a uniform provided.
Yeah.
You know, and you think like the police, all the ambulance, all the fire, whatever.
Yeah.
All the soldiers, right? They need new uniforms. They need new shoes every month.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean?
Everything.
And do you know what I mean? It costs a fortune, all this.
Yeah.
Know, do you know what I mean? That's where our money goes in a funny way. You know, like we pay taxes, and each month it goes on clothes.
Yeah.
On wear and tear and everything.
Yeah.
Tires, the new ambulances, and so on and so on. You know, it costs a lot of money to keep all this running. You know.
Yeah.
But it keeps everyone sort of employed.
Yeah.
You know, in jobs and whatever. You know, it's like a big factory to me. You know, we're living in a huge factory.
One big matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Where the taxpayers fund everything predominantly. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
You know. So.
That's right. I mean, like people pay taxes year after year. You know, think like, hang on. You know, then you got to pay when you die. You got to pay for your loved ones to die.
Yeah.
I think this should be all free.
And you get a death tax and shit.
It'd be good if it was all free. You know.
And an inheritance tax as well. You get an inheritance tax, so if someone leaves behind money or residences or something for their family, you know.
Don't someone deserve to get buried by whatever the system, the tax system? They've been paying taxes all their
lives. Exactly.
Since they're 16 to whatever, you know, do you know what I mean?
65 or what it is for a lot of people.
Then they die and they just got to get, their family's got to pay for it, basically, you know. You know, I don't know, you know, I mean, it's complicated, you know, and I think, like, that's another thing people don't really talk about death a lot, you know, and, you know, like, the actual system itself, you know, I think it's a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're living today, but people pay a lot of money for death today.
Yeah.
You know, they pay marble graveyards, you know, you go to a graveyard, and you're looking at a fortune there. You're looking at a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, but what does it matter, you know, with these names on there, you know, it don't matter to anyone. And sometimes you're looking at graves that are 200 years old. You know, especially if you go to a graveyard around London, you know, there's big grounds, you know, for famous people.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
And all this, you know, where, you know, like, you know, famous people get buried or whatever, you know, from 15th century, you know, and it's still there now. You can go and look at it.
Yeah.
You can go and look around and you can see where Nelson got buried.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? It's incredible, you know, and I think, hang on. You know, it's like, you know, like the Wax Museum, you know, it's like walking around there, you know, it's creepy. You know, and
I've been there before when I was younger, actually. Madam, what's it called? Madam Tussauds, I think.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I've been close to it. You know, I have been to the London Dungeons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my daughter.
Yeah.
And we went in there, and I paid a lot of money, and we were in there for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I even bought a book, and I don't even know why I went in there. To be honest, you're thinking back, you know, I was so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, wasting my money to go and see something horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to entertain my kids, but it wasn't entertaining them at all.
Mm.
Well, you know, my daughter, as soon as she went in there, she didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be honest, I went in there, yeah, and I can remember seeing this head cut off or something, you know, in the first, when we were, you know, sort of going in there, you know, and my daughter didn't like it, you know, I don't blame her.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and then we had to go all the way, and this, I got this woman, you know, sort of from the counter to get us out, you know, and she had to take us all the way out, you know.
Yeah.
I can remember that day, do you know what I mean? And then, you know, like I say, I don't know why I was doing that, do you know what I mean? Wasting all that money. I think I wasted about £35, you know, just to get us all in there.
Just for 3 minutes.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my daughter didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't blame her, you know. Why am I taking her to see, you know, but even I've got a bit wiser since, you know what I mean? I'm talking about that 15 years back when I did that.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just sort of walking around London, I'm thinking, there's a big queue there, let's queue there and go in there. London Dungeons, you know, and I didn't really think much of it, you know, but now I sort of like, thought, what did I do that for?
Yeah.
You know, take my, she was only 6 at the time, do you know what I mean? You know, what's it there for? You know, like they're making like lots of money, you know, to show what really happened in London actually. You know, the London Dungeons are true stories.
Yeah.
You know, which is quite bizarre why they've got it, you know, as a museum in a funny way. And people actually like pay money and buying a book to get, you know, like I did, you know, like stupid me, you know, to have nightmares basically when they go to bed. You know? You know, that's why I think, you know, that's why I think people have really got their empathy today, you know, compassion, you know. You know.
A lot of people are desensitized to a lot of shit too. I think that's why too. You know, people see so much graphic shit on a daily basis today, whether it be social media or through entertainment or through games or whatever the case may be. Like, people are exposed to so much graphic shit today. I think a lot of people have become quite desensitized to stuff, and that's why they become even more. You know, that's why they even lack even more. You know, empathy and compassion towards other people. You know, because they're so desensitized to seeing certain stuff that's become normal. You know, certain shit that shouldn't be normal has become normal to them because they're exposed to it all the time. You know, it's just like if you're growing up in a certain environment where there's a lot of violence and a lot of crime and a lot of killing and a lot of all sorts of shit going on. If you're growing up with that as a young child and you grow up in that environment for most of your life, then that's normal to you. You know, if you've got people friends and stuff around you that are getting killed and whatever, you know, that can become normal to you. You know, sad to say.
It all depends on your environment, doesn't it?
It all depends on your environment. So you know.
And your intelligence.
Yeah.
I think, you know, like sometimes when you're hanging around the wrong crowd, it's an intelligence to not do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To, you know, to go to a higher ground. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, you have got to be careful with people, you know, who you meet, really, you know.
Yeah.
Like some people are really deceitful, you know.
Yeah. True. Very true.
And a lot of people are, if you ask me, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I've learned that one, you know. Do you know what I mean? Like I've said before, you know, I'm enjoying life more.
Yeah.
Now because I enjoy being alone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've lived with people all my life, you know, like finally I'm on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's like a party.
Mm.
You know, it's like when I was 16, I was on my own. I wanted a relationship. You know, I did meet someone when I was about 16.
Yeah.
Okay, but there was sort of like a year I was at home in my bedroom, you know. I was having a wicked time, do you know what I mean? Having a good time, doing music and doing what I wanted. Didn't have to pay any keep or anything, you know. And yeah, it's all magical really, you know. Now, you know, it's magical when you first meet someone. But then it starts getting a little bit, you know, serious, you know.
Yeah.
And you give up a lot what you enjoy. That's, you know, what you say, you know, as we said, you know. And then, you know, I got married, whatever, you know, and I give up a lot what I, you know, loved in a funny way, you know. I love music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I can do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yippee, you know, party, freedom. You know, like, you know, there's a quote which I sort of shared on Facebook not long ago. You know, man is only free when he's alone.
Yeah.
Really, you know. You know, and you sort of think, oh, love, you know, sort of true love and all this, you know, is happiness, but it's not.
Well, for some people it might be.
Yeah, but
not for everyone. Not for everyone. I think we've been fed this lie. It goes back to this thing of this whole matrix thing, mate. Where for the last however many hundreds of years, people that are born into this world, whether it be man or woman, have been told, you go to school, you go to college, you go to university, you get a degree, you get a job, you find someone, you find yourself, you know, find yourself a woman, you know, get married, have kids, get a mortgage, get a car, etc. This is the repeated cycle that's been going on for the longest time now. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it, but what I'm trying to say is like we were saying, like you said earlier, we're all unique, we're all different individuals. Not everything works for everyone. I honestly think that some people are out there that are much happier just being on their own. And there's also people out there that are in polygamous relationships even, so let's say for example, where they don't want one, but they don't want one or two women, sorry, they don't want one woman or one wife, they want two or three, if you see what I mean, and they all live together, and that's their, you know, their family dynamic, you know. Like, I think people should be free to kind of do what makes them, as long as they're not hurting anyone or affecting anyone in any way, they should be able to be free to do what they want to do, to choose. If they do want to get married, if they do want to find someone and get married and have kids, then fine, but if they don't, then fine too. Why is it this societal pressure and stereotype that everyone has to grow up and everyone has to grow up and do the same shit? If you see what I mean, go through the same cycle of like, you go to nursery, you go to primary school, you go to secondary school, you go to college, you go to university, you know, and then, you know, you hope you get a good degree, then you hope to find a job, and then you hope to find, it's just like the same, like.
Well, I think we're all locked in the system, aren't we? That's what we've got to do.
We are, but it's almost like sometimes like no one questions. It's just like, it's okay sometimes to question like the normal everyday narrative and just be like, you know what, that might be cool for most people, but that doesn't really like work for me. That doesn't really make me happy, or like, you know, that's not what I'm about. Like you know, because there are some people out there, like, say for example like yourself, that right now that are just happy to be on their own, like just, you know, quite happy just being single and just living your life. You see what I mean?
I think.
And there's some people that are out there that are like that. They're just they don't fit into a relationship dynamic, or what, it just doesn't work for them or whatever. They just, you know, so.
I think that, again, you know, we've got different circumstances. You know, we've had different experiences in life. You know.
Yeah.
So like my experiences, you know, I've had two families.
Yeah.
You know, and they both went wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and I was on the first one that I met, you know, and had a child with. You know, I don't think I was in love with her at all, really. You know, but I was trying to be. You know, but then the second one, we were in love, don't we, Rush? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were in love. We had a beautiful relationship for a number of years, you know, and then we had two beautiful children, you know, and it was all lovely relationship, but it just went on fire at the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It went bang, you know. And, do you know what I mean? And it just went to ruin, you know.
Yeah.
Quite quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But because I've felt like I've experienced love, which I have, and sex, which some people haven't, you know, they really haven't, you know, they've been alone all their life. You know, but at least I feel like I've experienced it, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, and it was awful, and you know, it hurt me big time, losing it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. But now I've got over that. I'm learning that, you know, and I didn't really kind of like being alone for a number of years, you know, without my wife. You know, I missed her or whatever, you know, for a number of years because I was in love with her so much, whatever, you know. But now I've got used to it, whatever.
Yeah.
And learned really sort of I'm enjoying myself alone.
Yeah.
Just like I was when I was 16, when I lived with my mum, do you know what I mean? I was on my own, you know, do you know what I mean? And my family doing things that I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whether it's musical, whatever I want to do, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, I was a lot freer then because I was on my own again, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I'm learning really, you know, you really are only, you can only be really happy when, you know, man, or, you know, as that quote said, that, you know, which I shared on Facebook a few days back, you know, a man is only truly happy when he's alone.
Mm.
You know, or can be truly happy,
Yeah.
or truly free.
Yeah.
You know, a man doesn't never feel comfortable when he's with somebody else. I mean, I do with you, okay. But even so, I mean, with you, if you come round for a cup of tea tomorrow, right? I can't walk around naked like I normally do, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I can't be myself.
Yeah.
You know, fully.
Of course. Yeah.
Fully
Yeah.
with you. You know.
Yeah.
But I can be 100. You know.
With a woman.
Well, I can be with you in many ways.
Mm.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, but not every way.
Oh, no, of course, because obviously, we both our preference is women.
Let's say women, yeah. If I had a relationship with a woman now, you know, I started a new relationship with a woman, it'd be a bit different, you know, because I could sort of like feel, you know, walk naked in front of her.
Yeah.
You know, in a kind of way, but you know, there's certain things that I can't do in front of her. Do you know what I mean? You know, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's different. You know, like I say, a man can only be free and happy when he's completely on his own.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got his own privacy, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
His own space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I think also, like, I think there's a lot of people, and I personally, I'm kind of like this to a degree as well. There's a lot of people out there. I don't think it matters really too much if you're a man or a woman, but I think there's some people out there that are so focused, like they know their purpose in life, if you see what I mean. And they're so focused on their purpose that purpose of whatever that purpose is comes before everything else. If you get what I'm saying, if you see what I'm trying to say. That, don't get me wrong, the person who's focused on their purpose, whatever the results, whatever success or results that they get from that trickles down to their loved ones, whether it be their wife, their kids, whatever. But I think there's some people out there that are so focused on their purpose that comes first above everything else, if you see what I mean. And some women find that hard to deal with. It's not all women. Some women understand it because they might be driven themselves and might be trying to achieve stuff themselves and be very motivated and driven themselves, whatever, got their own goals and stuff they want to accomplish. But not all women, if you see what I mean. Some women find that hard to be with a man who is like, you know what I mean, like I say to me and my wife are kind of the same in that aspect. Like, we both love each other to death, but like at the end of the day, we both know that we are focused on our purpose, if you see what I mean, in life, and that comes before everything. It becomes before everything in life, if you see what I mean. So I think sometimes people find that hard. You know, some people do find that hard to deal with if their partner is like that. You know, because they feel that the person isn't giving them like 100% of their time and energy, if you see what I mean, because they're focused on not only providing and maybe looking after the kids, but also focused on what their own goals, if you see what I mean. And then not being able to give that time that they're dedicating towards their goals, they're not able to give that to the person, and that person might want that time.
So I mean, we've all got different goals, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've all got different goals in life, I think.
Yeah.
Some people haven't got goals, have they, at all?
Yeah.
You know, and I think you've got to make a goal, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You know, that's important, isn't it? Making a goal.
Oh, definitely.
You know.
Because once you find what makes you happy in life, right? Once you find what makes you happy and you're most passionate about in life, that's the thing you should be doing the most. If you see what I mean. And not depending on what it is, some people are not always able to accept that. So if you see what I mean, if you want to become let's say an artist, let's say a musician, so for example, not everyone out there might, you know, not every woman out there might not be able to be willing to be able, you know, to help you support